This is Drop Tent Media Network.
High IQ basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. What's going on, bro?
I'm gonna go for like a quadruple double.
This is High IQ basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. I'm Brian Isley. That's Raymond Byrd. Neil's in the house. And before we get started with quarter number one, you know how the show go. If you don't, thank you for subscribing to High IQ basketball. Keep looking for us every Wednesday and Saturday, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Hit that notification so you'll know to get ready for our show. But before we get started, I want to address some things. A lot of buzz going on. I'm dead ass serious, bro. This guy over here making me laugh. I'm pissed off. For the Caitlin Clark clan out there, leave me the fuck alone. All I do is I'm an advocate for Juju Watkins. I think Juju Watkins' this year, her freshman year, has been stellar, and I also think it's been overlooked slightly. So I try to advocate as much as I can for Juju Watkins. I want her to be player of the year. I know that's not going to happen, but I know I still want her to get some votes. If I was in the voting, I would vote for Juju Watkins. And I don't think I should be crucified and hit with racial comments and be called boy because I prefer Juju Watkins over Caitlin Clark. Juju has taken a program that has been irrelevant for almost 30 years and won a Pac-12 championship, has gotten them to a number one seed, and has gotten them to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1994, where Cheryl Miller was the head coach and Lisa Leslie was their best player. Juju Watkins is a generational talent, and all I am is speaking highly of her. Speaking highly of Juju does not mean I or anybody else who prefers Juju hates Caitlin Clark. Y'all got to stop y'all bullshit and stop with this racist stuff, bringing in race just because I prefer Juju, who just so happens to be black, over Caitlin Clark. Rant over. Let's start with quarter number one. These motherfuckers is getting on my nerves, man. Real talk, man. I see what y'all look like hoodless though. Thanks. Ice Cube has offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to join his Big Three league. Cube has gone on to say via X, formerly known as Twitter, we intended the offer to remain private while Caitlin Clark plays for a championship. But I won't deny that what's now already out there. Big Three made a historic offer to Caitlin Clark. Why wouldn't we? Caitlin is a generational athlete who can achieve tremendous success in the Big Three. Ray?
I think it's a win-win for her. I don't think she'll accept, but you talking about making $5 million, and I don't know the stipulations, or does she got to play a full Big Three season? What's the Big Three during the summer?
Yeah,
a couple games. I don't know, what the extent of what's going to be required of her to get the $5 million. But if I'm her, why wouldn't you take $5 million? That's more than you're ever going to make in any season you ever play in the WNBA. You know what I mean? Have you seen how many times have you seen WNBA players forego a season to go overseas instead? Because there's more money overseas than it is to play a full season in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some of the top players pass up on seasons like, I got to get my bag. So I'm going to go over to Russia and play ball instead of playing ball in the WNBA this season. You got an opportunity to, what quadruple or whatever, what these people are going to Russia to go play in the Big Three. For me, it makes sense. Maybe not for her, but to make $5 million, what's the top player in the WNBA make? $500,000?
Yeah.
Before taxes,
Yeah.
you go over to Russia, you making probably $1 million. Top dollar, that's top dollar. That's the top players is getting maybe $1 million, probably a little less for, you know what I mean? You got a chance to make 5. I think it's a no-brainer. If I'm her, I'm hooping.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not even. It's not even.
It's not even $500,000. You're talking about a quarter million. Tarasi, who was there, maybe the GOAT, she making 234 to almost 235. You got a chance to make $5 million to play 3-on-3 back. You ain't even got to run up and down. 3-on-3 basketball against a retired NBA player, retired and guys who weren't good enough to stay in the NBA. I don't care if I go in there and get cooked or not. I'm making $5 million. These girls don't make $5 million in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
You got a chance in one summer to walk away with $5 million. Listen, I would pass up my rookie year to go play in the big. If their seasons overlapped,
they do.
I'm playing in the big 3 and making that $5 million, and I will make my debut in the WNBA the following season.
There's a lot to unpack there. If 5 M's at the end of the day is 5 M's. So, yeah, I would not blame her one bit if she took it and played in a big 3. They only play once a week. They play 3-on-3 basketball. She'll be just fine holding off a year, making 5 M's, and then going to the WNBA, like you said. And it will bring more viewers over to the WNBA because people are going to be very intrigued to see what Caitlin Clark looks like in the big 3. So it'll be a ratings bonanza for the big 3 and later on for the WNBA. So I'm with you on all things money and ratings wise. She if she does accept, she will get the 5 M's, but she'll get 0 W's.
I'm not sure.
She'll be getting destroyed.
I'm not sure.
She will be getting these. Listen, listen to me.
I'm sorry to interrupt you,
but I didn't interrupt you. I let you give your whole soliloquy.
Go ahead.
Let's just keep it a buck here. Caitlin Clark is a 6-foot guard, and that's considered a big guard in the women's game. She's not all that a defender in the women's game. She'll be playing against cats that's bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic, and I don't think she's going to be able to guard the worst player in the big 3. With that being said, I think she should do it. I think she should do it. Now, depending on how it goes, maybe it doesn't even have any bearing on her on what she does going forward. Maybe it don't. All I'm saying is she will secure the bag, and that'll be an unprecedented bag for a female basketball player. She'll be making history. Kudos to her for that. But as far as competition standpoint goes, these are former NBA players, former D1 athletes. Some didn't pan out in the NBA. Some did pan out in the NBA and retired. They're going to take exception to this woman getting more money than they'll ever see in a big 3. And they're going to go out to prove a point that there is a difference between men's and women's basketball. And they're going to hunt her and they're going to do her dirty in the league, period. I'm not saying she shouldn't do it. She should absolutely do it. $5 million is $5 million. There ain't nothing to sneeze at. Absolutely, she should take it. But with taking that money means you going to get smoked.
What if she kill? I think there's a path for her to go in there and get buckets. I think she could go in there like we seen. Remember Jeremy Lin? Early on, Jeremy Lin was killing. Mm-hmm. And then people took exception to it. And then they started to go get him. I can see her a game or 2 going to work because at the end of the day, she can shoot the basketball. I don't care if you slight. I don't care if you undersized. I don't care if there's a mismatch on the other end. You being able to shoot the basketball. And if she's hot, she could have a game and it can add to that aura of Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? So if she go in there and she get buckets, it's going to add to whatever you think of her. And if she go in there and get killed, we expected this. You're playing against men, former NBA players, former D1 athletes, as you just said. So for her, it is a win-win. She has nothing to lose if she go in there and go and gets taken advantage of her. She go in there and get buckets. She can only walk out on the positive side. You're getting $5 million. And you get, if you happen to go in there and kill, which you are very much capable of. I'm pretty sure. I mean, with stories of she's always played with boys. She grew up playing with boys. Was the story that her dad was saying that the boys were complaining about her playing with boys. So I don't think this would be her first go around competing against men. And this is another level. We're talking about guys who played in NBA. So I'm not going to compare the two, but I think she'll be. I don't think it's a question
those
mark.
boys from when she was a child playing against boys and all that stuff. Those boys are accountants, bank tellers, firemen, policemen now. They are not playing competitive basketball at the highest level. So you damn right they was complaining because she is a stellar female athlete and they were regular Joe Schmo men athletes. There's a difference there. Now, when the playing field levels out and it's an elite woman athlete against an elite male athlete, there's a big difference. I'm not saying don't take. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. I'm not saying don't take the money. Please take the money. It's great for basketball. It'll be something to watch in the summertime. I'll be tuned in. Please take the money. It's great. It's a good look for basketball. It's a good look for Cube. It's a good look for everybody involved. All I'm saying is what's going to happen. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like we played basketball. You hooped before, right?
Yeah.
Zoe's wife, she will hoop with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was times where you could find a matchup for her and she would be fine and you would not notice she was on the court.
Right.
Am I correct? I played with her many times, 5-on-5, and she's guarding another. And these ain't NBA players. I'm just talking about, but I think the level of basketball would, compare.
Mm.
And she was fine. You talking about playing 3-on-3 basketball. You talk about is not make it take it, is alternating possessions.
Mm.
I think you can find a matchup for her and she will be fine. And there'll be times where she gets cooked. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a lot of times where she gets cooked.
I think there's times where she'll be fine. I think there's times where you're gonna be there's no knock to Nate Robinson, but if you put Caitlin Clark on Nate Robinson, she plays off, make him shoot. If he off, he off. Mm. And then on the other end, she's 6'1" and he's 5'8". She could get off. You know what I mean? Like, this basketball is a lot of elements to. I see a path for her being able to have success. I don't think it's going to be as easy as, Caitlin's on the court, Clayton Clark's on the floor, and it's this easy money. I don't think it's going to play out like that. I think it's going to be games where that's the case, and it's going to be games where she is getting buckets, and it's going to add to that aura of who Caitlin Clark is.
I hope that's the case, but I definitely don't think that. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think these players are going to show her what the difference is.
You've seen it, though. You've seen it with
I've
your
seen
own
it.
eyes.
I've seen it in a pickup.
Playing against girls on high-level basketball. I'm not saying NBA, but we be hooping, and we really out here getting it. Zoke's wife is out there with us, and you didn't notice the difference.
Zoke's wife is 1,000-point scorer and 1,000 rebounds at Cheney University.
All-time leading scorer in college basketball.
Regular basketball players playing against regular guys. She is a stellar athlete playing against regular guys. Caitlin Clark is a stellar athlete playing against stellar male athletes. There's a huge difference.
Stellar
who
athletes
are still 6'7", 6'8", 6'9".
You're right. But yeah. You're on two different spectrums. Caitlin at her height. Right. These guys are no longer, they're probably still better, probably still physically capable of taking advantage of her still. I agree. But they're not the guys that we remember in the NBA. They're on the other side of that.
Yeah, and they're still, even though they're guys that they're not in their NBA prime, they're still way better than us at all.
I think it's a path for Caitlin to have success there,
and I don't. Quarter number 2, we got the Sweet 16 matchups on the women's side. We're going to talk about the women's side. We ain't going to talk about the men because
whoa, my
care
Blue
about that
Devils
shit.
is in the Sweet 16.
And that's where they're going to stop.
And all the picks that everybody else was talking about, their dark horses. Was it Rand had? What he had? Texas A&M? No, he had Texas Tech home. Nick had South Carolina home.
Nick had South Carolina going to the Final Four.
And they was out in the first round.
Which is why I don't want to talk about them, because it just makes us don't seem like high IQ.
Listen, I seem like high. My Blue Devils is in the Sweet 16.
That is a guest that you requested to be on the show. In the Albany 1 bracket, we have South Carolina versus Indiana, Oregon State versus Notre Dame, Texas versus Stanford.
Notre Dame is a what seed?
Texas versus Stanford in the Portland 4 bracket. What'd you say?
Notre Dame is a what seed?
Notre Dame is the 2 seed.
In the same side of South Carolina?
Yep.
That's interesting. I want to see that.
Well, in order for that to happen, they got to get past Oregon State, and South Carolina got to get past Indiana. So what's your predictions on those 2 matchups?
I got Notre Dame and South Carolina winning, going away.
What you got for Stanford versus Texas in the Portland 4?
Ooh.
Remember,
Texas, I like their athleticism on the perimeter.
I do too. I think Madison Booker is going to have a great game.
But I mean, if Beckers go to work, if Beckers is dominating,
Beckers plays for UConn.
Oh, I'm not Becker. I'm talking about
Cameron Brink.
If Brink is dominating the paint, all bets is off. All that dominating on the perimeter is kind of out the window. If she is getting easy twos and putting people in foul trouble,
I've noticed some things about Cameron Brink that I don't like.
What?
Defensively, she's great, but defensively, she takes too many gambles. She leans on her instinct instead of her IQ at times, and it gets her in foul trouble.
I like what I do. I'm gonna say what I saw a lot. Think the girl from Iowa State last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you teach your big all the time is
talking about crooks,
right? You teach your big all the time is to do what? Contest hand straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, she was consistently doing that. That's a very hard thing to do, to consistently straight up. Don't lean over. Don't try to go block the shot. Just straight up. Use your size. And yo, she was consistently doing that all night. She gave that girl hell, and she's a monster. She was like 4 for 21.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And it was a very close game. If she has a good game, Iowa State wins going away.
Yeah.
If she's 10 for 21, it's going away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And wind up being a close game. And it should have been Stanford going away, but Brink picked up her 4th and 5th foul within 2 minutes.
But that's you're taking the matchup, right? How many times we seen those kind of matchups and you go hide her on somebody else so she don't get in foul trouble? You took the matchup, their go-to player. When you talking about someone taking 21 shots, that means that we are consistently giving you the ball, giving you the ball. You're bound to get some kind of fouls. It's going to be some. She's a physical player too. You know what I mean? So it's going to be contact. It's going to be those ticky-tack fouls. The one that she got called for at the end kind of looked like a flop. I don't even know, because she was kind of like this, and she kind of just blocked the shot. You know what I mean? Like, that's you in that situation, dude, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. It could go either way. And I'm pretty sure some went her way, where they didn't call the foul and they went the other way with it. So
I was a little upset by that, because like, why are you? I understand that's the matchup. Took the matchup and you did a very good job defensively, but they have to use all 5 of your fouls, especially you got 4. You're not supposed to put yourself in that predicament where you leave it in the ref's hands to make that call.
What was that? 2 minutes ago? I don't know. That's not a situation like it's third quarter when you got 4 fouls and you just gotta let the person go because you're too valuable to pick up a chippy foul. But it's 2 minutes ago. Every bucket matters.
Every bucket. I think you're thinking of it in the hindsight that they won. So what does it matter? But let's say they lose. The conversation we're having, they lose that game. Kiki doesn't have the 41 and the 16. You're like, hey, yo, They lost because their best player was taken off the floor because she was in foul trouble and didn't know how to manage that.
I just don't feel like 2 minutes ago is something that you can really manage. You got to play. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You get early foul trouble in the game. It's like, all right, sometimes you got to let something go, live to fight another possession, right? But in that particular situation, like, you got to play ball. Like, you got to stop the other team. Like, just 2 minutes ago, she gets a bucket, that could be the bucket that loses you the game. And I understand she picked up the foul and ended up fouling out, but I don't think that that's a situation where you get to make that decision where I'm just going to back off and hope she misses a shot. Now I got to make a play. So I'm not mad at her for that. 2 minutes ago, you got hoop. You got to live with that.
Okay. Iowa, Colorado in the Albany 2 bracket, and LSU, UCLA.
Iowa shows some kinks in the armor. If you got athleticism on a perimeter and you get up into them, they got one ball handler. You could wear Caitlin out. You could wear her out, pick her out full court, pick them up full court, force them to have her bring it up every single time. It affects how she gets the ball on offense. It's no more coming off of screens. There's none of that. Ain't no catch and shoots. You got to go create every bucket for yourself and everybody else. That'll wear you out. But I think to get past Colorado, I don't think Colorado has the perimeter athleticism to do what West Virginia did.
I think they get past Colorado, but I hope they don't.
You gotta look at the camera.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't, man. It's too many Proud Boys rooting for Iowa, and I'm not digging that shit. They gotta go. LSU versus UCLA, which is the prime matchup in the Sweet 16 bracket, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm taking LSU, man. LSU going back to back. My girl Reese.
She's going back to back. They're going back to back as a 3 seed. I think that would be unprecedented because they were a 3 seed last year.
Who the 2? Oh, UCLA's a 2?
UCLA's a 2. They got Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice, one of the best duos in the country.
This is what to get to the Elite Eight?
Yes.
And then you got who the one up top?
The one is Iowa.
Oh yeah.
That's the murderers
rematch.
That's the murderers row bracket.
That's the rematch. That's the LSU championship game last year. I'm fine with that. It's a nice path for my girl to get back to the Final Four.
Listen, I will retract every statement I made about Angel Reese's game if she gets through this bracket and wins a national championship, because this is one of the most killer brackets I ever seen in my life. You got Iowa as the 1 seed. You got UCLA as the 2 seed. LSU, the defending national champions, are the 3 seed. That's crazy. So that means they got to beat UCLA and Iowa if Iowa gets past Colorado just to get to the Final Four. That's crazy.
I got them knocking off UCLA, and then I got them knocking off.
Why you got them knocking off UCLA like it's just a foregone conclusion?
I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but when you got championship pedigree over there, you see how they last round, right? Early in the game, they're down like 8 points. You worried a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second half, they do what great teams do. They lock up, they shut everything down, and they win by almost 30 points. Put that game completely away. Championship pedigree, where you don't overreact to, oh, we're down early or we're down 8 points. You've been here before.
Yeah, they've
been here before. That championship pedigree matters. I think that they're gonna be fine.
It matters. It's also a little bit cliche, and I think from the further they get to the path, the harder it's going to be able to get done, and that championship pedigree is going to even itself out come the Elite Eight. If they get there, the Final Four, if they get there, it's going to get a little bit harder each time. And they can't have the slow starts that they're having. They can't have turnovers at the point guard position. Van Lift is Jordan 1 mid.
You see that sat her down in the second half.
They sat her down, and they should have sat her down. And Falaje Johnson had most of the ball handling duties, and they came back. And that's when Angel Reese started to come on once Falaje Johnson started getting busy. Arguably the best sophomore in the country, right there with Kiki Rice. Kiki Rice is right there as well. I think Falaje is a little bit more athletic and got a little more spice in her bag. And she's a great defender when she decides to lock in.
Why don't you just move the other girl off the ball? She shoots the ball well. Why don't you just move her off the basketball?
Because she's super slow and can't move off the screens to catch and shoot. She's slow, bro. She's very slew-footed. And it hurts her on the offensive end and defensive end because they can't move her off the ball.
I gotta move her off the ball. She gotta be a catcher. She can spread the floor. You know what I mean? She's a threat to shoot the basketball. Even if, I get what you're saying of she's slow-footed off this picks and all that stuff. Maybe she ain't quick enough to still get her shot. But I'm moving her off the basketball. If having Flujay on the ball, now you got a pick and roll that you can run with her and Reese. I think the only team that can knock LSU off is South Carolina, and that's because of they're big. They're big. Give
Cardoso,
yeah, she gives Reese hell.
I think South Carolina could be LSU and everybody because they loaded. They got a couple bench players that can start anywhere in the country, and they got Tahini Pau, they got Cardoso, they got Raven Johnson. They just super loaded.
It's crazy that they're this. You speak that highly of them, right? And everything you said is 100% true. And they were better last year. And they lost all 5 starters got drafted.
4 of the 5.
4 of the 5 got drafted. You lose that much firepower, and we still come back talking about you got people on the bench that could start for other Power 5 teams. That's crazy.
And it's true.
That's crazy.
Yo, like Malaysia Fulwali can start anywhere else in the country. And she might be the best player on that team coming off the bench. That's wild, right? Like it's times where she gets the ball and she's doing her thing. Everybody get out of her way.
She won the LSU game. That conference championship game, she won that. She was the reason they won that game.
I think she's leading them in scoring in the tournament. Coming off the bench, Malaysia for a while. Yo, she's a problem.
Listen, they got one of those teams where, Dawn has got everyone to buy into the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are All-Americans, right? But we don't have a Juju averaging 27 or 30, 25 points. We don't have nobody. We got people averaging 12, 14 down the board, and everybody's, and you still gonna get drafted high.
Yeah.
Like she sold the bigger picture. Boston, even when Boston went there, she won a national championship. She was the number 1 pick in the draft. She won a player of the year there, but she never put up ridiculous stats. It was never she's averaging 22 game and 12 rebounds. It was modest stats, but she got everybody to buy into, we here to win as a team. I'm gonna grow you as a player, and you still gonna get picked high. And when you get to the league, you're gonna be more prepared than you would be if you'd been in another situation.
Could you imagine if she decided to stay?
Who, Boston? She had a year left.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you stay? Yeah, I'm one of those who feel like they should all stay as long as they can.
Well, if you got people like Ice Cube offering 5 M's.
Listen, yeah, if 5 M's is on the table, I'm out. No question. But if for most of them it's not on the table, I'm staying in school playing in front of, you gonna go play in front of 75 people, or you gonna play in front of
that's overkill.
25,000, you know what I mean?
That is overkill, bro. All right, we got the Portland 3 bracket, USC versus Baylor. Then you got UConn versus Duke.
Duke has been a overachieving, so I think UConn knocks them off.
Yeah.
USC could have problems with Baylor.
They could
have problems with Baylor, but I'm hoping they get it done and get past them. I want to see Beckers and Juju on the same floor.
I definitely do want to see Beckers and Juju on the same floor. I think Baylor will pose a problem with USC, but I think the problem will be solved because Juju has a legitimate sidekick in Mackenzie Forbes. And Mackenzie Forbes takes all the pressure off Juju, especially in isolation and playmaking. I've seen several plays where Mackenzie gets the ball and says, go away. And Juju will be lined up in a corner, and all eyes are still on Juju because it's Juju, and you can't leave her. You have to account for her at all times. And that's when Mackenzie gets busy in isolation. They don't even run a set. They just let her work.
I'm just curious to see, because I saw that the Stanford game, right?
Pac-12 championship.
Pac-12 championship. I'm just curious to see when you see one of these teams with that elite talent, top to bottom, when they throw that at her. You know what I mean?
And who, at Juju or McKenzie?
At Juju, not at McKenzie.
Okay.
And because I believe that's the formula. I think you're gonna catch them when those other people aren't making shots, and they're not making shots, and I'm taking Juju away. I can see she a freshman, man. I can just see her having those. I'm still gonna start jacking up shots. You see, Caitlin's a senior, and she in their first round game where she wasn't getting the points that she's used to. She wasn't getting the looks that she's used to getting.
And her body language was terrible.
Right. She had that same energy, and she's a senior. We seen Juju have it earlier in that Pac-12 championship game. You know, all the chips is on the table, and there's no tomorrow. I can see her forcing it a little bit. She forced it in the Pac-12 championship game, and they won despite that. I can see her really forcing it, especially if other guys aren't going. Forbes ain't going for 30. What happens then?
That's a possibility.
But I like them winning that game. UConn and USC, I got that.
It's just like I said with LSU. As the tournament goes on, the path is going to get harder. So yeah, you can see we've seen it. Seen Juju take bad shots, heavily contested shots, because I'm Juju. I'm still supposed to get going. I'm supposed to be the reason why we win. You could tell that's her mentality. That's her makeup. We ride or die with me at the helm. I dig that, but I love McKenzie because McKenzie's like, hold on, like I could get busy too,
right?
Like fall back a little bit. I got you. and you laughing because you know that's how we get down,
right? But it'd be interesting to see when you're going to give us elite talent, and maybe McKenzie doesn't have the mismatch. You know what I mean? You're going one-on-one, and you got someone of equal stature on the other side.
Yeah, I dig it. And that's going to be very intriguing. But you know that. Man, I was thinking about this yesterday, and we're about to get into halftime. I'm thinking about this show. Like, where does Juju rank as my favorite player?
Overall, man.
Right now? She's in the top 10.
Oh, you talking about all time or just right now?
All time.
Top 10?
She's in my top 10 right now as favorite players to watch. I absolutely love Juju. I got a collector slam on the way. I got a Juju jersey on the way. I was going to ask y'all too. Before we get into halftime, we all judge me. Y'all look at me crazy if I wore a Juju Watkins jersey.
Nah.
No?
They probably do. I don't know. What's their colorway?
Colorway is burgundy, gold. That's their road jersey, and their white
cool
jersey is.
I'm cool. I think that's actually dope.
Yeah,
that's actually dope.
Okay, because I felt some kind of way. Like, yo, if I wear this Juju Watkins jersey,
now if it was a WNBA jersey, it'd be a different energy.
Why?
I don't know, man. Don't wear no WNBA.
It's on the far. Yep, there you go, right there. All right, what y'all think about that?
Somebody's doing it somewhere. I'm cool with it.
I'm pretty sure all of Southern California is doing it right now.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Who they got coming in next year? The yellow one's better though.
Yellow one's better.
With the Southern Cal?
Yeah, the yellow one's pretty nice.
Yeah, I don't think that one's on sale yet.
But yeah, you're just going with the red and gold.
Yeah, because that one's on sale.
I think that's solid.
All right, cool. All right, because you know how you get down sometimes. You tell me don't get goofy with your fit. Like I'm not trying to get goofy with my fit. So, yo, he will say that to me. I'm like, yo, Byrd, I got this pair.
Watch, baby. He'll match head to toe. He got orange sneaks on. He got an orange everything.
I do shit like that. That's not good.
Chill.
Yeah. You gotta have some organic nature to it.
I had these Miami Hurricane like Nike Air Maxes. I sent him a picture of them. He was like, "Don't get all fucking goofy and start wearing lime green swishies and all." I'm like, bro,
We used to call these dudes. This is not you, but we used to call them flea market dudes. Like it just seemed like everything matched on them. Just like they shopped at a flea market and went nuts. All right. Anyway, sorry. I know it's halftime.
That's the 90s coming out of me, and we done with the 90s, so I can't be goofy no more. This is halftime. We headed into halftime. This is High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. This is halftime, and halftime is sponsored by If You Know, You Know Trivia Games. This is a trivia game created by a great friend of mine and friend to the show, Saquon Gillette. If You Know, You Know is a 90s to 2020s hip-hop and R&B trivia game. Is created by Saquon Gillette. As I said, it's Star Corner Production, Star Corner Games, and it's the game you never knew you needed. Guaranteed to have you singing, dancing, laughing, and reminiscing. You'll probably learn something too. In the most fun way ever. Is for ages 13 and up. Because you know, with hip hop we have explicit lyrics. But yeah, if you know, you know. Trivia game. Get it on Amazon and wherever games are sold. That is our halftime sponsor. And we are back. This is High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd heading into the third quarter. Lakers come back against the Bucks last night without LeBron James. As I've said many times on this show, Doc going Doc. Guy just not a good coach down the stretch. Anytime you got Darvin Ham beating you, it's not a good look. The Lakers are 40-32.
Yeah, they put up a stat and said last year they'd have been in fourth place. You know what I mean?
That's how crazy the West is.
It's crazy. Yo, listen, very impressive win. Like AD, what he had 32 and 23. Like,
yeah.
when AD has games like this is the kind of stuff that makes you think like, yo, this guy should be the best player. He should be top 5, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had today we got Memphis, and he'll have 11 and 7. You know what I mean?
11 and 4.
But AD's had a great year. I'm glad Brian was able to get a day off, and
we get to win.
And we get to win. Hopefully they don't drop the ball today. Like that was the hard game. The Bucks game, you sit Brian down because maybe that's the game we lose, but we need him right for the Memphis game. Now you got a chance to get both of these games.
Yeah.
So if they could get this one, it's the West is so tough because Dallas is playing great. You know,
9 out of 10.
You two games back. They just need to get to the 8-7. You got to get it so that you only need one game
instead of 2,
having to win back to back.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need to be able to win one and you're in. Best case scenario is they can get that 7 spot. You don't want Denver. I mean, right now Denver's the 1 seed, and that's that tight up top, just as tight as it is tight at the bottom. If Denver, Lakers, you don't want Denver in the first round. You get Denver in the first round, there's no path for you to get to the conference finals. But if they could get OKC or Minnesota, I think that's a path for them to win a series and get the ball rolling and win another series.
Yeah, but either way, you don't think it matters because if they see Denver at any time during the playoffs, they going home.
But I think there's teams that if Denver run into, they can get knocked off. I think the Clippers. I think
even now the Clippers.
I know they're not playing great, but I think I trust Lou. Lou is going to attack them in ways that's going to put the big in position where he got a guard. They're going to go small. They're going to match up with sometimes with Zubac. Then there's going to be times where they say, fuck it, we're going to put Kawhi at the 5. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They do that. Lou is one of those dudes where he's you knock us off, all stones have been turned over. You know what I mean? I'm going to try everything. I'm gonna try every strategic way I can do to knock you off.
You beat Ty Lue. It's not because of the lack of adjustment making. He's
Facts.
going to make adjustments and he's going to exhaust every option possible. And if you do beat him, it was well earned because he going to try to figure out a way to get that shit done.
So mad at the Lakers for not signing Lou.
Right. Right.
Yo, the Lakers brass, man. Zubac and Lou are over there because of mistakes made by the Lakers.
That is very true. I try not to think about shit like that. What about your boy? What about Doc?
Bucks are actually playing good basketball.
You know
Yeah,
what?
man.
You know they only got 4 more wins than the Lakers.
Right. I think they're playing good basketball. They're in the position that they need to be in. They're in the 2 seed. That's best case scenario for them. Set themselves up to go see Boston in the conference. I think it's going to come down to Boston, Milwaukee conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
And can you get it done? That's what it's going to come down to. The Dame trade was built for that, right?
It was built.
It was
for
an
that.
arms race, right?
Yeah.
They went out and got Dame. Boston went out and got Holiday and Porzingis, and say, "All right, we'll see y'all when it's time to go see who comes out of the Eastern Conference."
Mm-hmm.
I think Boston has locked up the 1 seed. Milwaukee has won enough games. They got on a roll and they put themselves in position to be the 2 seed. Now you meet in the conference final. That's what it's going to come down to. So,
do you think it's a guarantee? Think it's just a formality that those two are going to meet in the Eastern Conference Finals? You think there's a path for the Bucks to get knocked off before they even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals?
if I'm I don't want to see Miami.
No, not at all.
I don't know where I think Miami's probably a 4 or 5, so they probably go see Boston at the 1 seed. But
And Boston don't really want that neither.
You don't, because Miami is dogs. Jimmy Butler turns into something different, and all of a sudden you're better than them, and suddenly that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You find yourself in a 7-game dog fight, and you find out a lot about yourself.
A dog fight with dogs, and you find out what you find out first and foremost is that you ain't one.
Right. That's going to be that's the one team I'll be worried about, and the other is the Sixers, right? If Embiid does come back, say Embiid comes back when they got 7-8 games to get him back into shape, and they were looking like one of those contenders early in the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say you get them and they in a play-in and they a 7 or an 8. You want to see them in the first round?
Probably not.
You don't want to see, if Embiid is right, you don't want to see the Sixers in the first round in a 7-8 seed. At all.
No.
That would be worst case scenario for either. Could you imagine if they the 8 seed, right? Boston sees them in the first round, and in the second round, you got to go see Miami. You find out exactly who you are right there. And then you got to see the Bucks in the conference final. You talking about for a team that fought all season long to get the 1 seed. You talking about you found yourself the toughest road possible to go win it.
That's a murderer's row. If everything lined up like that, and that'd be crazy to be the 1 seed and to have to go through a damn gauntlet.
Right.
Just to get to the final. That's not supposed to happen. You strive for the 1 seed so you can have an easy path.
Right. That would be tough. They get through that. Like, that would be tough.
That would be tough. I'm kind of that makes me leery on them. If that happens, that's scary.
And the crazy thing is there's a path for that to happen. Like, I think Miami is locked into that 4 or 5 situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that, and then you got the Sixers have fallen into the play-in.
Dude, so Miami's in that 4 or 5 slot. So it's pretty likely that they match up with the Knicks.
I think it is the Knicks. I think Cleveland's a 3 seed.
That's a 7-game dog fight.
Right. 7-game dog fight. That, do you not take Miami?
You take Miami based on what you've seen from Miami in the past.
And I think Miami, if I'm not mistaken, I think Miami's the 4.
So they will have home court.
I think it will come down to who got game 7 at the house. And Miami is one of those teams that maybe it don't matter.
Maybe it don't matter. Something about them, bro. Like, it always seemed to tap out come the finals.
Listen, Jimmy Butler's tenure in Miami, he's got the 2 finals.
Got the 2 finals.
I don't think we think of Jimmy as that kind of player, right? We don't think of Jimmy as one of those guys who tips the scale that much.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy has been to 2 NBA finals won as was that 8 seed?
Mm-hmm.
That's very impressive, man. Very impressive.
And what, three conference finals since he's been there?
Pulled off upsets, knocked off some of these Boston great teams, some of these Giannis-led Bucks teams. Like, yo, but Miami is everything that we saying they are. It's not based off of Alonzo Mourning and all that. Like, this is the Jimmy Butler Miami Heat we talking about.
Jimmy Butler. It's post Zoe and Hardaway. It's post Wade and Shaq. It's post Wade, Bron and Bosh. This is Jimmy Butler's. You can consider it an era. He's been there 4 years now.
The dog Miami team we talking about that you can't count out, and no matter what seat they got. We talking about Jimmy Butler. We're not talking about LeBron's Miami Heat. We talking about Jimmy Butler. That's that dog team we talking about.
Definitely a dog team. Don't want it. None of the teams in the Eastern Conference want to smoke with any of those.
Hell, you do not want Miami early.
But back to the Lakers. LeBron's out and he's killing me in fantasy right now. I'm about to lose in the semis because this dude's want to sit. I'm down 30 points. If he would have played, I would have got those 30 points and I'd be up.
I was down 200 points yesterday.
Jesus.
AD went crazy yesterday.
It brought you back.
I'm down like 20 right now.
Wow.
AD went crazy. I got so many people out. That ain't coming back. RJ Barrett ain't coming back. The other bull from Toronto, he ain't coming back.
Scotty's
not coming back.
Jeez.
Simmons is in and out the lineup, and he's on the team that they playing for nothing, so he's probably not coming back.
He's definitely done. Well, hey, you might not listen. I was going through my memories on Facebook. It's the same four teams that's in the semis now in fantasy. The same 4 teams that was in the semis a few years ago.
Yeah,
and you wind up losing then too.
But the Lakers, I'm impressed. I think there is a path for them to really make some noise in the playoffs. But it's, you 30 and 32, 40 and 32. Like, if you could have put this together early in the year, you know what I mean? If you could have put these wins together early, and you wouldn't be in this situation.
That's what's frustrating. And it's so nip and tuck with them, man. Like you say all the time, they got games where you like, oh damn, they could win the whole joint. And then there's games where it's like, bro, y'all need a lottery pick. Like, what are we doing out here? Y'all look, and it'd be back-to-back nights or within the same week.
You don't beat Milwaukee yesterday without Brian. Would you be surprised they lost to Memphis tonight with Brian?
Nope.
Like, that's who they are.
Would not be, and it's all because Darvin Ham is sitting on that sideline, bro.
They had a stat they said this is unheard of. Points for, points against for the season. The Lakers were even. Like they give up which is crazy. They scored 117 a game, right?
And
they giving up 117. That's crazy.
That's wild. And that's the epitome of mid.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? Yo, man, that's bad. That's real bad. But AD, I saw AD stats. Neil pulled up AD stats. AD is averaging 24 and 12.
That's got to be second team all league.
Where's Sabonis going to be?
His numbers are better than Sabonis. Sabonis average I get but you're going to point to the one-on-one matchup. That's not what all of that. I think he's averaging like 18 and maybe I think he might be second in the league in rebound, if not maybe first.
What I was going to say was Sabonis leads the league in double-doubles, and I think he's second or first in triple-doubles as well.
Well, he might lead it. I mean, AD's got over 50 of them, double-doubles.
Right.
He's averaging 24 and 12.
24.
He's got to be second team.
Yo,
second team.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Do you think he's shed that reputation of being up fragile and down and being fragile and quote unquote?
I think
soft?
Up and down was. I think he really got that reputation more last year in the playoffs, and he was exact. He earned it. You have a historical game. Then the next game you got 11 points. But like I said, AD impacts the game in so many ways that I think his up and down is based upon points, and his play isn't just what he does on the offensive end. His defense is never up and down.
Sabonis, ASABONIS. I agree. I'm with you on that, and that those numbers are definitely at the very least all NBA second team. I'm completely fine with that. Do you think he gets it though? Is what I'm asking.
He should. I mean, Lakers is if you come out record with the Kings, they 2 games back. You know what I mean? Who knows how this thing plays out at the end? Lakers could easily be what if they end up being a 6 seed? They right there. They not really far behind any of that. 2.5 games back behind the Kings.
How much time we got left in this quarter, Neil? Oh, we're done. All right. Okay. I was going to ask you one more question about Brian. He said the narrative about
anyway, when he was talking about how to read the floor, so on and so forth, like guys wanting to go one-on-one. I think it's a real thing. Yeah, you got a bag versus you. Giannis don't have a bag. You know what I mean? And sometimes you see it where it's just I'm 6'11", I'm 7 foot, and I'm just going to run into you and try to jump over top of you. You see that sometimes with guys, and then you see guys who like Kyrie who really does have a bag, whereas it looked different.
Damn, man, that's one hell of an extreme to another, bro. Like you went for somebody
about a bag and a non-bag, because there's times where Giannis does things that are, I do got a bag. It's times where he's Euroing. It's times where he surprises you with some footwork that you don't expect to see from him. So he has it in him at times.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see a guy like Kyrie, where I'm always in my toolkit. You know what I mean? I'm always dibbling and dabbling in this thing. This is what I do.
Yeah, Kyrie has the best bag of all time.
You know what I mean? So I think what Brian was saying was just understanding understanding basketball. I got one side of the floor. I gotta isolate some matchup. It's not always about me getting a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's about ensuring that my team is getting a good shot every single time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys look at it as I got a mismatch. It's time for me to go into my bag.
Mm-hmm.
When that's not necessarily always the case.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about Brian is playing for championships, and that's what he thinks about all the time. He's always thinking about putting himself and his team in the best situation, and he understands it's not always going to lead to him being the one getting the bucket.
Right. Agreed. We're headed into the fourth quarter, and the Warriors are in the 10th spot, and I believe the Rockets are only a half game back of the Warriors for that 10th and final play-in spot.
Didn't the Warriors lose yesterday?
I believe so. And the talking heads were saying maybe it's time they could break this shit up.
I think the time to break it up was during the trade deadline. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? You got one piece left. You got Steph. I'm talking about the core.
Mm-hmm.
You got one guy left. All the rest of it can roll. You know what I mean? It's him, Kuminga, and you kind of everything else. You need to, if it is, we want Steph to be here for the remainder of his career, and we want to put him in position to be successful. It's time to break that thing up, and it's try to put the piece. And the mistake they made is that you don't have control of the Clay situation no more. Like, it's not trade Clay and come back with something else. Clay's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Clay's free to go wherever he pleases. You get nothing back for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's time to break it up. If it's, put Steph in a position to win.
If it's all about putting Steph in a position, because Steph is the only viable piece left. He's the only productive piece left on a consistent. He's the only all-star elite player left. If it's about that, then I'm fine with it. I think they didn't do anything come trade deadline because these players, this core has given the Warriors organization and the fan base so much over the years that they gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, yo, let's ride the rest of the season out and let's see where we could go, which is nowhere. They're going home, whether it be in the play-in or whether some by miraculous way they get to the first round of the playoffs, they're going home. They do not have enough. This ship has sailed. It's over. It's done. But we're talking about getting rid of people who are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers, who are going to get their jerseys retired in Golden State, and who very well might get statues outside of Chase Arena. So it's a different dynamic when you talk about getting rid of players that just don't get it done. This ain't Cleveland 2018 where you could just wholesale everybody, get everybody out the building, and start anew. These people are legends in Golden State. It's kind of like getting rid of 3 Kobes. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't, well, 2 in Draymond and Clay. It's not, these dudes are going down in Warriors lore. Steph is the greatest of all time as a Warrior. And the other 2 that we are saying, yeah, they might want to get rid of them are in that top 5 greatest Warriors of all time.
I agree with everything you said, but I mean, as an organization and as players, like I'm not one of those guys who cries about loyalty. At the end of the day, it's a business. You know what I mean? And on both sides, you got to do what's best for you. The time to move off of Clay was at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time where you was going to get something back, where you was going to be the package Clay and his salary and picks and whatever you was going to try to, you could have got OG bad. You could have made a play to try to go get Siakam. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you're trying to put pieces around Steph that you can move forward with. Or here's the other question. Is it time to have a conversation with Steph and say, is it just you want to be a Golden State Warrior for the rest of your career and we'll do the best we can? Or is it about you want to win more championships and should we be exploring trying to get as much back for you as we possibly can?
Listen, that second part ain't happening. It is not even because they just don't want their fan base to dwindle. You trade Steph. Remember we were talking about how valuable the Warriors are? That value is gone. It's once Steph is gone.
It's going to happen regardless. You know what I mean? Every team you got a superstar. The Lakers were valued at probably more when they had Kobe than when you don't have Kobe. They probably were valued at more when they had Kobe and Shaq. Then you got to move off of Shaq, and now you're an average team missing the playoffs. Like it happens for everybody. So to me, I say that conversation is to be had just to get an understanding of you don't want Steph to be unhappy, right? You owe him that. You talking about your greatest player who's ever donned your uniform, right? I'm just having a conversation. You cool with this process? Because it's going to be a process for us to put the pieces around you. And the clock is ticking. You're older.
Clock is ticking. It's 35.
You know what I mean? Listen, you're not 22 where we got a couple years to do this. No, we got to do it on the fly. And we might not be able to get the pieces in time where you're still a great player for you to benefit from the pieces we get. So do you want to go somewhere else and win? And we can speed up our rebuilding process by trading for picks and whatever the case may be? Or are you cool? Are you cool just you want to be a Golden State Warrior for life? That's the conversation.
I think I would think he's at that point where, yeah, I do want to be a Golden State Warrior for life.
I think any competitor, you want to win. You want to win, right? I think, you know what I mean? I want to win. Like, I'm not cool with you telling me that, this is going to be the scenario for the next 2-3 years. That's what you're looking at. Like, Steph, how long are you going to be great? Maybe the next 2, 3, 4 years. You expect Steph to still be playing at this level, be the best player on your team. All right. I'm cool with wasting these last 3-4 years being in play. I
don't think it's gonna be cool. Nobody's cool with wasting their last 3 or 4 years and being on a losing team. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, it's hard for me to fathom Steph Curry. He's one of those lifer dudes. He's a Dirk dude. He's a Kobe. He's one of those guys that you only imagine seeing him in one jersey. Shit, when Mike was with the Wizards, it was the weirdest 2 years ever. And he never looked right in that jersey.
But all right, Scotty never looked right in the Portland jersey, but he was winning, so it looked good.
He looked better in the Portland jersey than he did in the Houston jersey.
Fact, because they weren't winning. Yeah, Steph goes somewhere. They say, Steph, all right, Steph, we're gonna send you to New York. You go down there and you go get busy with the Knicks, and all of a sudden, you win down there. You're a Golden State Warrior forever.
Yeah,
but this adds to your. You know what I mean?
So you're thinking of it from a Tom Brady standpoint. Tom
ain't look right in the Bucks, John,
at all.
But he won a championship there. And so guess what? That elevated his stature as a player even more. Like, yo, you were great here. You went over here and won one over here too. Well, now we look at you even better light.
Yeah. For every Tom Brady as a Michael Jordan.
Facts.
Who looked like shit in Washington.
Facts. You're right. I don't think Steph looks like shit anywhere, but you know, I and maybe you're right. Maybe he cool with just I want to be a Golden State Warrior for the rest of my career. And that's what it is for some people. Maybe he's cool with giving them time to try to put the pieces around. But you walk into the regular season and you look at your roster, you kind of know what it is.
Right.
You see what the Western Conference is. You come back and y'all got the same team next year, and mine is Clay, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna be in the play-in. It don't matter what I do, I'm gonna get busy.
Don't matter.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. Is he gonna be cool with that?
Which is why it's like, damn, bro, that punch changed everything.
I don't know, because I think a couple years ago, you know, when they had what's the kid they traded over to Detroit? The big.
Man.
Wiseman. He's getting busy right now too. But you thought, oh shit, Golden State has figured it out. You know what I mean? They were older. Now they got all this young talent. They're going to be to keep this going forever because they got all the replacements to keep all this going.
Facts.
And next thing you know, those young pieces don't pan out the way that you thought they were.
I certainly thought it was going to pan out.
Right.
I was
got lucky.
All right, y'all
got the 2 pick.
You got Poole. You got Wiseman. It looked like Wiggins is that guy now. Like, yo, it looks scary. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna win in 2022. And then it's like, yo, y'all gonna be contenders for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And Steph still looks elite.
Because they won the chip without Wiseman.
Right.
You like, oh, Wiseman's coming back next year. They're gonna be better.
Mm-hmm.
It all doesn't work out that way. Now all of a sudden, it looked like you got all this young talent sitting behind these older guys. It's all going. Now you back leaning on these older guys, and they're not as good as they once were. And now all of a sudden, Clay's on an expiring contract. Now you talking about what you're going to do with him. Is he going? Man, the whole picture looks completely different than it looked 4 years ago.
Clay got an expiring contract and an expiring body.
I think Clay could fit in a different role. I think he still can play. I just think that in Golden State, the expectation for what Clay is different than it would be with another. If he was with the Lakers, he would be fine. Off the ball, shooting the basketball, he would be fine. We'd be cool with Clay 17 a game.
Hell yeah.
His 17 over there, they're disappointed.
You know why, bro? Because damn, Clay. All right, I got him on my fantasy team. 17 the points add up. Points, rebounds, blocks, assists, steals, all that adds up. Clay have 17 points. I look at the total points. It's 17 points. He don't do shit else.
Right.
He don't rebound. He don't defend like he used to at all. He don't rebound. He don't make plays. Matter of fact, I'll look at the left column and the points to say 17. I look at the right column for total points. It's 15 points because he got 2 turnovers.
Yo, I'm just saying, Clay can shoot the basketball. I see a path for him to still be a viable piece on a certain kind of team. I just don't think Golden State is that team anymore. Should have traded him at the deadline because you can't get that money back to attach was that's what they should have done. But I would trade if I'm losing Clay, I'm probably getting off of Dre too.
Man, and where does Draymond go?
I don't know where Dre fits, but that's money. Every trade you got to have money to attach to it. Him, Wiggins definitely up out of here.
What's up with Wiggins, man?
Wiggins got so many personal things going on that's affecting him.
Like,
playing.
yo, like personal stuff that takes you away from the game, takes you away from your team. That's crazy. Like, yo, I say what you want about Dame, but Dame's still playing, and Dame going through a whole lot of shit right now. He ain't taking no leave of absence because of personal stuff. That man going through a divorce. He can't see his kids. He in Milwaukee where it ain't shit to do but think about his wife and his kids. Like, all he has is basketball. That's wild. That's wild. Like, yo, like, yeah, you know how you say all the time, yo, they don't make them like they used to. They don't make them like they used to. Yo, Kobe was on trial for his life, and Hoop was his only sanctuary, and he was out there getting busy. Like the trial was determined by how well he played.
Yeah, that's fact.
That's exactly how he played. Yo, like Wiggins, like, damn, bro, like what could you possibly be going through to take you away from the game? The game should be your refuge right now, whatever you going through.
Yeah. I'm definitely sliding off him. I'm probably, even though I think Drake can still fit if you got all the pieces, I just don't think you're going to get all the pieces. You know what I mean? So I'm probably moving off him. I'm trying to go young. Put some young.
Dre is a system. Dre, the ultimate system guy. He's one of my favorite system guys. Probably the greatest system guy ever. But I don't think he's gonna fit anywhere else because that system ain't gonna be there.
He a dog though.
Straight up dog. Too much of a dog.
Dog. He'll be all right.
Too much of a dog, bro. Like your antics breaks up teams.
Man, Poole look like poop, man. He did the go
before. No, that's Poole afterwards. That's
like Poole. So
that's
you think
all afterwards?
So Jay doing what he did made Poole affected Poole
he
to the
knocked
extent.
the game out of Poole. You saw that punch? He knocked him unconscious, and his game went with him.
Yo, listen, Poole was talking super reckless to a dog. You gotta know, Poole, you not a dog,
not a dog,
and you talking crazy to a dog. And you thought that was just going to fly? Nah, B.
Draymond gotta have ancestors from Salem.
That was definitely a dodge move. But listen, man. Like, Poole looked like there's times this year, Poole looked like he should be out the league.
Facts.
That's not a trade market for Poole. I think Washington would have moved off of him if they could have.
If they could have.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
I think Poole looks like I'm bad for a team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't have him around young boys because he's giving them bad habits.
Super bad habits.
I can't have you on an older team because you see what happened with him. And you're like, what do I do with you?
Can't have you with the young boys because you a young boy and you a dickhead. Can't have you with the vets because you a dickhead and you gonna get knocked out.
Right. Like, yo, I think Poole, he on that teetering. Next couple of years don't go well.
And it's unfortunate for G League Elite going. Where you gonna go?
Big three. There's gotta be some of that $5 million left.
He's not getting the $5 million at all. Cube gonna give him next Friday money.
25,000
in a trailer. You better be cool with that, Poole. Well, that's the end of the game. Yeah, 97-94 me.
Yo, that's
yeah.
Yo, we back on our regular shit. Take the hoodies off.
You over there complaining like Caitlin Clark. Chill out. You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. We going into our OT. Our OT for the day is, I love this, man. I'm glad we get to talk about this. I am a hip hop head through and through, top to bottom, and this Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and J. Cole shit is right in my wheelhouse. I love a good battle, and I hope they answer the call.
Yo, the thing is that these guys is built different, right?
Super different.
So would you be surprised if we got a bunch of subliminals back and forth? Like, yo, He laid it out. Let's get to it. Will you be like Drake is notorious? Like they was a story out that Drake invited Rick Ross's ex to his tour, one of his tour dates. That's Drake's response to stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yo, let me DM your ex-girlfriend. Like, that's the kind of stuff. That's how Drake responds to beef. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised. Like, Rick Ross unfollowed me, Nav unfollowed him, all these different guys, Future. Would you be surprised if that's how he went about it? Like, that's his character is that. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a bunch of that and a bunch of subliminals. Is anybody going to stand up and really put some work out?
You know who I want? Listen, Kendrick is a monster. Kendrick is one of my favorites. This Trinity right here, because that's how hip hop goes. Like with the Trinities in the 80s, where it was Kane, Rakim, G-Rap. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who you ask. And in the 90s, Big, Jay, Nas, throw Pac in there, I guess. If you, yeah, but that's another conversation for another day. But I'm getting hate as is from the CCCs. I don't need the Tupac conglomerate that hop on my shit too. But then you got in the 2000s, you had Weezy, Yeezy, all them cats. Now it's Kendrick, it's Drake, and it's Cole. And Cole show love. Cole show, we the big three. But I feel like Muhammad Ali. I think Kendrick took that as a slight. How is a big three, but you Muhammad Ali? It was no big three when Muhammad Ali was the guy. That's what Cole is saying. Like, I'm the guy, clear cut. And I'm surprised Drake ain't say nothing about that because he said it on Drake's song.
Listen, but what I like, what Kendrick did, there only could be one king.
I love that.
There only can be one king. Ain't no big three. It's big me.
Big me.
I'm fine with all that.
I love it.
Let's share it and pass the baton. Like, eventually, Hov and Nas had to get to it, right? Eventually, we got to see who. This is, I hope we get real music. I don't want the DMs and your DMing your ex-girlfriend and couple subliminal.
That shit corny.
Give me some work.
But
Drake, you know why he does that? Because that old popcorn shit you use against Meek, that's not going to work here.
It's not.
That's not going to work here.
Back to back is not going to work against Kendrick.
Back to back is not going to get it done. And last time he found himself in the ring, in the gutter, when you really got to go get dirty, was with Pusha, and he ain't want no smoke.
Here's the one thing: Cole is elite. Kendrick is elite. Here's the one thing I'm scared of, because Drake can talk that shit. Drake is one of the slickest talking rappers ever. Like, you mess around and sleep on him. I need Kendrick at his best. If Cole decide to jump in, I need Cole at his best, because Drake is liable to say some shit that can change it. He's capable of doing that. I'm not saying he's not the best MC in this Trinity at all. It's out of Kendrick and Cole, but Drake can talk that shit, and that's what scared me. He may mess around and surprise us all with some shit.
I don't think it would be a surprise, because like you said, he is, like, we've seen his verses. You know what I mean? Some of his verses are some of the greatest ever. Like, he is very, like you said, very much capable. But it's different when you go on a war.
Yeah.
Me hopping on a song and giving you a great verse versus me going to war with you. It's, everybody can't do that. There's great MCs. Then when you step in here and you got to go battle and you got to go to work, is a little different. And like we just said, that back-to-back shit, he got lucky in that Meek John. Meek was very unprepared. Kendrick seems like he's very prepared. You know what I mean? Meek wasn't ready for war. Kendrick seemed like he is ready for everything. And as nice as Cole is, and I know a lot of people love Cole, and Cole is, you know what I mean? Is he built for this?
Hold on. Cole's going crazy right now.
Going to war it's different. If my money on Kendrick.
Listen,
I think Kendrick is built for this, and I think Kendrick wants it, and I think Kendrick is letting them know it's me. And then y'all can decide between y'all two who is second, but it's me.
I'm with you on that. Listen, I want Kendrick to be the victor. I am a hardcore Kendrick fan. I love Kendrick ever since Section 80, before Good Kid, Mad City came out. And like bar for bar, I think Kendrick is that guy. Yo, could you imagine? All right, Jay-Z comes out with Where I'm From, and he says, I'm from where niggas pull your card and argue all day about who the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. Big and Jay, cool. Could you imagine if Big was still alive and Nas said, fuck that Big Three stuff. This me. I'm about to get at both of y'all. That's what Kendrick did. That's what Kendrick did, because these are the 3 top MCs in their generation. And Kendrick went at both of them. That's the equivalent of Nas going at Big and Jay at the same time.
But it doesn't it kind of, I feel like it puts Kendrick in an advantageous situation, right? Because I'm going at both of y'all, right? Now it makes it look like, oh, it's going to take both of y'all to fuck with me.
That's dope.
Do y'all team up? Y'all put a track out together? Who's going to go first? Drake, you going to go first, and then you going to go. You know what I mean? Like it's strategic. It puts him in a position where y'all gotta talk first. Y'all gotta do. Drake, you gotta go call Cole and say how we going to handle this, because it looked like it's me, and then there's y'all, and what y'all gonna do about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And y'all gotta be very careful how y'all handle the comeback, because that looks corny. It looks very whole. Who goes first? Is it Drake? Yo, I'm that dude. Cole, you go get him. If you can't handle it, then I'll come. Like, how does it go? You know what I mean? Because somebody's gonna look a little weaker than the other. Yeah. The placement and how we handle this matters. Yeah, it does. And do you respond with a track, a subliminal, a feature? What do you do? Because it's like when Ho put out Takeover, right? He didn't put the whole joint out. He just ended it with, you niggas don't want it with Hov. Ask Nas. He don't want it with Hov. Ended the track. He was ready. I got the rest of this ready. Yeah. I'm just putting this out. People forget. Nas responded with some trash. It wasn't trash. It was trash. It wasn't trash. And then Ho finished the joint. And when Ho put the rest of the joint out, I was like, oh, it's over. I got you. But Nas reloaded and put out one of the greatest diss songs ever. That's how you respond. That's how, after that, Hov is supposed to be able to walk off into the sunset. Wait a second. Then Hov put out some trash. Hov didn't do his homework. He put out. See how he does. Hov did some joints after that joint. It was hard, but like you said, after he put out, you're not paying attention no more. It's over. You can't get our attention no more. Hov put out a lot of little verses, a lot of little joints towards Nas, and they were hard. Hov's stature will go even back then, especially back then during the height of that beef. Okay, Ether comes out. It wasn't nobody's paying attention anymore. It's like, what you gonna do? He just came out with the hardest diss track, arguably of all time, against your diss track, which was at the time one of the hardest diss tracks of all time until his shit came out. What are you gonna do? And then you drop Super Ugly. Now we ain't paying attention no more. Right, that's what I'm saying. But he dropped stuff after that. It just didn't get you're like you said, we're no longer interested. After Super Ugly, it's over. You don't get another turn. Yeah, you don't get another turn. That's it. But I'm saying they was paying attention still until you got that turn. Right, because Takeover was that hard. Word. And when you drop Ether now, if he drops anything less than Ether, Hov can walk into the sunset and don't have to say anything. Mm-hmm. But you drop Ether, so now you gotta come back. And when you don't come back and you don't get to that level, mm-hmm. now Nas can ignore everything you're talking about. I'm not saying anything you're saying. Yeah. And that's why you got to be very strategic on how you respond next. You put out some bullshit, back to back, won't get it done. Back to back. You hated back to back was trash. I hated back to back when it came out. Back to back, which it had some punchlines in there that was funny. But for war, Meek should have ate his ass alive. He
Yeah.
just wasn't ready.
Hey, yo, Meek. I told you this a couple of days ago. Like the energy that Meek had for Cass, he should have had for Drake. Because Repo is one of the most underrated diss tracks I've ever heard. Repo is ridiculous. That's the energy you should have had for Drake, but you gave it to Cassidy. That shit was wild.
He wasn't ready. I don't know why he wasn't ready. You coming for the belt. the Ric Flair joint.
The big
You
gold
coming
belt.
for the belt.
You going for the big gold belt. Drake got the big gold belt.
And you wasn't ready. You ain't got no belt.
Which means you shouldn't have been in title contention any goddamn way. You should have been vying for the television championship. You was never big gold belt material any goddamn way.
But Kendrick looked like he ready. And he want that belt.
Kendrick does. Kendrick, if you ask Kendrick, Kendrick already got the big gold belt.
Drake that dude. Drake got the belt. You know what I mean? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say that.
You don't. That's why you whispered it.
Drake got that belt, man. You got to pry that thing away from him.
You was very reluctant to say that shit.
I don't want to say it. You know what I mean? But he got that belt and you wanted to snatch that thing from him. But Drake is, like I said, man, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we got. A bunch of DMs to ex-girlfriends and
want that.
ex-wives and shit, like the baby moms and shit like
This
that.
is the war. Like, this is the war. Ever since this Trinity came up and became what it was, we wanted, are they going to collab or are they going to get at each other? Which one is it? And it's people out here is really pissing me off, bro. It's people mad at Kendrick for going at Cole and Drake. These are the same people who get mad when NBA teams click up. When team up and do all that AAU shit. They get mad at that. But hip hop, which is based on I'm better than you, you're mad because somebody came out and said I'm better than both y'all?
The basis of hip hop from its core has always been the battle. Competition. You live on this part of town, I live on this part of town.
Let's get to it.
We're going to meet up and see who is better, right?
And that's not even from that's not just the MC standpoint, it's the MCs. It started with the DJs. My DJ is better than your DJ.
It's always, hip hop is built on competition.
Facts.
And it is always embedded in you to eventually, you got to knock heads. Hove and Nas eventually had to do that. If Big was here, maybe it would have been Big and Jay. Eventually, you going to have to
see
leaning who's sword sharper.
It was in word. And Kendrick got a Valerian steel sword.
I just hope we get music because I don't know. I don't think Drake is going to give you anything. I think he's going to do his Drake thing. He's already started with the DMs. He's already started his regular process.
Right.
I'm going to hop on somebody's shit and I'm going to give you a couple subliminal shots there. But I don't think you really get, his dad came out and said something.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't think you're going to,
I don't want to hear that goofy shit.
You ain't getting no ether. You ain't getting no takeovers.
His dad came out and said something,
His dad
bro.
came out and said
Brian
something.
be like, oh man,
that's
already corny. Hey guys, come on, calm down, everybody. Let's just chill out, everybody. Let's have some snacks.
I can understand why Hove's mom came out and said something because Hove was out of pocket and his mom shut that shit down. And they ain't really put no dent in Hove armor because Hove's still Hove. But man, Drake, nobody want to hear what the fuck your dad got to say about none of this, bro. You either get to it with the bars or you just leave it alone.
Right. Like you got everybody pulling up these what people tell them Hove was on a joint with Drake back in the day was like, yeah, eventually they gonna turn on you and Eminem. Man, ain't nobody turning on you. This is hip hop. Yeah. This is what it's about. Ain't nobody talking about shooting and killing each other. We talking about, I think I'm a better rapper than you. That's it.
Yeah. And it ain't gonna get there because ain't none of y'all like that.
Ain't none of y'all. I don't know too much about Kendrick, but Drake, I said we had the crib and the old episode of Degrassi popped up on the screen on Netflix, and I'm like, this is the motherfucker running hip hop right now. You got to be fucking kidding me.
A dude from Canada that played a dude in a wheelchair on Degrassi.
Yo, you see,
the number
go
one
look
rapper.
at that old pic of Drake, butt naked face, no hair on his jaw. Like, yo, this shit. Look, this is the dude running hip. He got the belt.
He
How
got
did
the belt.
this happen?
He got the belt. He got the big gold belt, and it's crazy. But I want Kendrick to prevail. I want Kendrick to be the undisputed champion of this era, and I'm glad that he wants that for himself.
Go to war. All right. Is
There we got
Kendrick going to
it.
have to put music out? Does he have to put more music out?
Nah, he just got to wait because he put out a fire ass verse.
Right.
So what do they do? Is it
Yeah.
result in a track, or
This
does
is
it
to your
result in
point,
another
right?
feature?
Yeah, like what happened? They can't collab.
That'd be sucker.
Do they
shit.
ignore it?
Suck.
And just move on?
Yeah, I feel like that's the era. I mean, I'm just chiming in, but I feel like that's the era. Just being like, dude, this is business. I'm not fucking with you.
Right.
Like, whatever.
Is
That's
a feature enough? I'm gonna throw you a couple subliminals. Then what?
Yeah.
Does Kendrick do it? Another feature? What do we do? When did back in the day this get you ether? And then
Yeah.
you respond to that.
Yeah.
This today you get DMs.
I think they're gonna get creative. And to your point, they gotta play this like WWE, man. It's just like whatever. It's not gonna go to guns. We're not doing that. We're talking about the best MC.
That's a good point.
Do some shit live at like a tour thing and call them out or something. You know what I mean? Get
Yeah,
wild. You gotta
yeah.
like do a little flair for the audience. You know what I mean?
But like Ray said, Drake don't usually fall for that bait shit.
True.
And Cole be on his nature shit all the time.
But in hip hop, right? You usually got one big artist and you got a smaller artist, and usually like Pusha and Drake. And even though that Pusha joint was so hard, Drake can ignore that. It was a
Right.
great diss joint. That should have got a response. You should have had to go to war with this guy.
Okay.
But you're so much bigger than him.
Right.
I can ignore it and nothing happens.
Yeah.
These they all on equal playing field. This is like you said,
Their
the big three.
audiences, right.
This is the big three. This is it.
Big three.
They're
That should get a response.
I got just as many Grammys as you, so you can miss me with that shit.
right.
Let's get to the bars.
I drop music and I'm gonna get it just as many streams as you. I'm that guy too. It should get some music, but I think we get DMs.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. And like, if you're a fan of one more than the other, like, do you expect a response from J. Cole like separately? Do you expect a response from like Drake separately? Like, what do you want? Yeah, it's wild.
I'm West Coast in my heart anyway, so I'm rooting for Kendrick. Every time I touch down at LAX, I feel like I'm at home.
Listen, I'm rooting for Kendrick because that light skinned motherfucker ain't supposed to have the belt. He ain't supposed to have the belt. Man.
And that's from one light-skinned motherfucker to another. This is High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we appreciate all the love and support for you guys. Peace out. We'll see you on Saturday. If you're going to a baby shower and you need a gift, I have the perfect solution for you. Go to Honeybee Cakes on Macari. Honeybee Cakes specializes in affordable diaper cakes. They make the perfect gift for the new addition to the fam. Search Honeybee Cakes on Macari today. Hey everybody, this is Brian Isley, comedian extraordinaire, asking you guys to download Logo, the Isley album, and Uno, the One Take album. I have 3 albums. They're all on Spotify. They're all on iTunes. They're all on Tidal. Streaming well right now, but I need more support. I need you guys to go and download these albums, man. Download Logo, Laugh or Get Offended. Download the Isley album and download Uno, the One Take album. And they are available where you stream all your music. They're hilarious because I made them. So download these albums today and get your laugh on.
How you doing? This is Neil Wood from the Cult of Us podcast, speaking on behalf of Drop 10 Media Network, the network you're currently listening to. Make sure to check out all the other podcasts on the network. You can go to drop10.com to check them all out. Make sure to like, subscribe on everything that you see Drop 10 on. We appreciate it. Go to drop10.com now.
I'm gonna have to tie up my Nikes for this one. I'ma go for like a quadruple double. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. If fortune favors the bold, that's why I keep on just winning. If timing is just the essence, then I'ma keep on just spending. I'm worth a couple of bucks, shout out to Antetokounmpo. Dropping in B-ball facts that's seeping into your glue buds. Advising like Tony Kukoc, we getting into it mucho. Directing all these plays like my name was Tony Russo. Ballin', that's how we do, so I'm going in for the win. Penetrate the lane like we way back in 2010. I'm stomping straight in my Timbs. The basics just like I'm Tim. I'm dunking on you haters. A poster is where you live. It's magic all in my wrist. Steph Curry, we going swish. It's showtime like the 80s. Basketball is where we live. I'm highly gifted and skilled. I'm going in for the kill. The game is on the line. Raymond Byrd, hey, yo, what's the deal? Pass it to Brian Isley. I bet he probably surprised me. High IQ basketball is just showing it's not a hobby. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.